Hari Singh started a brutal campaign to drive out Muslims from Kashmir. When they revolted, unleashed a reign of terror on the people of East Pakistan. In the response to this, the people started a struggle to liberate Bangladesh from Pakistan. India extended moral and material support to the freedom struggle. Difference between history taught in India and Pakistan. Hello and welcome to Fact Town. Today we are going to talk about history of Indian subcontinent. Well, don't you wonder which history, the Indian narrative or the Pakistani narrative? India and Pakistan are neighboring countries that share much in history and culture, but the history taught, or you can say manipulated, are way different from one another. Let's take a look at different versions of same historical events taught in India and Pakistan, which will make you wonder what is a fact and what is not. Kashmir Issue. During the days of partition, there were two major parties in the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, the National Conference and the Muslim Conference. The former was led by the charismatic Kashmiri leader Sheikh Abdullah, who titled towards the accession of the state to India, while the latter titled towards the accession to Pakistan. The National Conference enjoyed this popular support in the Kashmir Valley, while the Muslim Conference was more popular in the Jammu region. According to Pakistani school books, Hari Singh started a brutal campaign to drive out Muslims from Kashmir. When they revolted with Pakistan's support, he was forced to ask for India's help. The Indian government agreed on the condition that the Kashmir would sign an agreement to join India. While the Indian book says in 1947, when Hari Singh, the ruler of Kashmir, opted to stay independent, Pakistani armed intruders from Pakistan attacked Kashmir. Hari Singh then signed an agreement to join India, and the Indian army was sent to defend Kashmir. Independence of Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Liberation War led to independence of Bangladesh from Pakistan, which led to a full-scale war between India and Pakistan later. The Bengali population was angered when Prime Minister-elect Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was prevented from taking the office. Civil disobedience erupted across East Pakistan, with calls for independence. On 25 March 1971 late evening, the Pakistani military junta, led by Yahya Khan, launched a sustained military assault on East Pakistan under the code name of Operation Searchlight.
UN Secretary General Font to use the influence of his office to stop what the Indian ambassador called the massacre of unarmed people in East Pakistan by the West Pakistan Army. Earlier, sources in India said that West Pakistan was continuing to bomb parts of East Pakistan, although the West claimed to have the rebellious province under complete control.
The Pakistani army arrested Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and flew him away to Karachi. The Pakistani army continued to massacre Bengali students, intellectuals, politicians, civil servants and military defectors in the 1971 Bangladesh genocide.
One of the reasons why there is a Bangladesh today is the fact that troops from West Pakistan, Punjabis, savagely terrorized the Bengali population of East Pakistan. Perhaps 1 million people died. Here now is some blurry videotape taken 10 months ago, hidden since then, of how the terror began.
This slightly blurry amateur videotape, which has been kept hidden for the past 9 months, shows Pakistani soldiers executing students, professors, and workers at the University of Dhaka last March 26th. The first sequence shows Pakistani soldiers forcing students to carry and pile up the bodies of victims already killed. The tape was made secretly by a professor of engineering on a portable tape machine hidden on the roof of a building about 300 yards from the killings. A Pakistani execution squad lined up slightly to the right of the center of the screen. About 20 people were herded onto the killing ground from the right corner of the picture. One man, dressed in black, dropped to his knees and begged for mercy. The Pakistani soldiers opened fire.
Before the Indian Army can think about leaving Bangladesh, 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war will have to be transported to India. 25,000 of them are here in the Dhaka cantonment getting ready to leave, guarded from possible Bengali vengeance by the men with whom less than a fortnight ago they were at war.
However, Pakistani textbooks have some different story to tell. According to Punjabi Textbook Board of Pakistan, the following text on the causes of separation of East Pakistan in 1993 for secondary classes were: there were a large number of Hindus in East Pakistan. They had never truly accepted Pakistan. A large number of them were teachers in schools and college. The other Pakistani textbook says, after the 1965 war, India, with the help of Hindus living in East Pakistan, instigated the people living there against the people of West Pakistan, and at last, in December 1971, herself invaded East Pakistan. The conspiracy resulted in the separation of East Pakistan from us. All of us should receive military training and be prepared to fight the enemy. The Indian textbook claims that the Pakistani rulers were not willing to accept the democratic verdict. Instead, in early 1971, the Pakistani army arrested Sheikh Mujib and unleashed a reign of terror on the people of East Pakistan. In the response to this, the people started a struggle to liberate Bangladesh from Pakistan. India extended moral and material support to the freedom struggle in Bangladesh. Pakistan accused India of a conspiracy to break it up. The Partition. On 15th August 1947, India celebrated its hard-earned independence from British Empire.
Greatest headlines of the century. Dateline India, August 15th, 1947. In a moment, the story.
But the unfortunate series of events before that led to the partition into two independent dominion states, India and Pakistan. But why did the partition happen? Indian history textbook says Muhammad Ali Jinnah as the man who is more or less responsible for the partition. On the other, Pakistani textbooks hold the same blame on Mahatma Gandhi. According to Anushay Malik, a PhD holder in history from University of London, the most blatant lie in Pakistani studies textbook is the idea that Pakistan was formed solely because of fundamental conflict between Hindus and Muslims. This idea bases itself on the notion of a civilized divide between monolithic Hindu and Muslim identities, which simply did not exist. The stress on religion ignored other factors that would cut across both identities. For instance, a Muslim from most of South India had a far in common because of his regional specific culture and language with the Hindus in this area than the Muslims in the north of the subcontinent. According to Pakistani textbooks, the reason for the partition proposed by Muslims was the belief that Hindu-majority India would discriminate and treat Muslims as untouchables. While the Indian textbooks mention that initially Muslim leaders also did not believe in separate country for Muslims, until Jinnah became a popular face among Muslims. In Lahore Resolution, Jinnah mentioned the difference in the culture and philosophies of Hindus and Muslims, and he rejected the idea of Muslims living as a minority in a Hindu-majority state. In the opposition to the Lahore Resolution, the All India Azad Muslim Conference gathered in Delhi in April 1940 to voice its support for a united India. Its members included several Islamic organizations in India, as well as 1,400 nationalist Muslim delegates. The attendance of the nationalist meeting was about 5 times greater than the attendance at the League meeting. The context of Pakistan's official textbooks have been often criticized by several sources, including many within Pakistan, for sometimes promoting religious intolerance and Indophobia, leading to calls for curriculum reform. According to Hussain Hakini, only officially published textbooks are used in Pakistan schools and colleges since the era of Ayub Khan. This is used by Pakistani government to create a standard narrative of Pakistan's history. Elizabeth Cole of George Mason University School of Conflict Analysis and Resolution noted that Pakistani textbooks eliminate the country's Hindu and Buddhist past, while referring to Muslims and monolithic identity, and focusing solely on the advent of Islam in the Indian subcontinent. There is no denying that the textbooks all over the world have a different narrative in history when it comes to countries' respects and deeds. But we still should ask the question about the doctoring of the historical facts to teach hatred to the children in the name of education.